Let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure others will join us. I want to start with just an announcement, which is that for those around the world that may not be aware, our friends and colleagues in London are in the midst of having the Queen's procession come through the center of London. So they may dip in and out of the meeting accordingly. Of course, that is more than all right. For those that may not have seen the announcement from the university last Friday, Father Jenkins made a statement about the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. That was tweeted out from the account and also put on the president's website. We also, as you will notice on the homepage of NDI, have put up a blue banner in honor of the Queen's death. You will see that for the next several days. We're still in the 12 public days. I think it's 12, maybe it's 10. If somebody in London correct me which it is. Anyone?
10 days total, morning, Michael.
10 days total. Thank you, Josh. So we're still within 10 days, within the 10-day mourning period. So we'll keep our banner up there, and then we'll replace it with our Ukrainian banner once those 10 days are over. So as I said, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to see you. One other technical point that Suzanne put in the chat: if you are not on mute, please go ahead and do so that there's less background noise. And remember that this is being recorded. So for those of you that have to step away, you'll still be able to see it on the NDI portal. So the most important thing, perhaps, is a big and heartfelt welcome to a number of new team members that have joined the team since our last global town hall. And it's a pretty remarkable list from all over the world. So I wanted to take a second to begin by welcoming these new team members to Notre Dame International and to the University of Notre Dame. People who have been here for a while, or at least been here through the pandemic, will remember that we did coffee chats where we were able to meet people from around the network and just take a half hour and get to learn about each other's work and lives. I would hope that we might be able to pick that back up again, given how many new members we have. In the meantime, when you see these people on your screen or you see them in an email exchange, please take the time to introduce yourself and give them a warm welcome as well. I'm going to go through this list, which is in alphabetical order. Welcome to the following new team members: Mahmoud Abu Saris from Jerusalem, Elisa Dimuccio from Rome, Emil Haloun from Jerusalem, Mahran Handel from Jerusalem, Boaz Laberman from Jerusalem, Caroline Lesney from London, Pablo Lombardo and Puebla, welcome, Talat Mansour, Jerusalem, Isaiah Marcano in Rome, Olivia Omidson here in South Bend, Jim Schwarten from Rome, Travis Shank here in South Bend, Eid Shami in Jerusalem, and Majid Tisawak in Jerusalem. Please join me in using the emoji of your choice or your applause in welcoming them to NDI. Thank you very much. You'll learn more about these folks when the Insider comes out. That's our Insider newsletter here at NDI. So that'll be one way to jumpstart the conversation as well, but please do reach out to them, as I said. Let's get started and move to the live headlines from our colleagues around the world. We're going to start today with Miranda in Beijing. Miranda, good evening.
Hi, hello everyone. Hi, Michael. The Beijing Global Gateway organized a virtual roundtable discussion on the challenges of rural women in poverty in China and how higher education can support them in addressing the challenges. 20 women entrepreneurial leaders from rural areas all over China attended the roundtable. The event kicked off BGG's Rural Women in Poverty project in partnership with the Beijing Yichuang Rural Women's Philanthropic Development Center. Jingyu Wang, Executive Director of the Beijing Global Gateway, served as one of the 4 panelists at a discussion organized by the China Education International Exchange Association. The panel, titled The Inspirations of International Education in Talent Development, was attended by 120 educators from universities and high schools. The Beijing Parents Association and the Longjing Shanghai organized 2 send-off gatherings for incoming students in Beijing and Shanghai this summer. About 50 incoming and current students, parents, alumni, and BGG staff members attended the events. Now let's hear from Dublin.
Hello. After a few pilot interdisciplinary research projects during the virtual winter session and in person this last summer, we are delighted to launch the inaugural EU Scholars Program. We would like to thank our colleagues in the Nanovic Institute and the Rome Global Gateway for their support getting this program off the ground for fall 2022. We see the EU Scholars Program as the start to many more pan-European ventures for our Notre Dame students, and we are looking forward to expanding the program across our gateways and centers throughout Europe. Alice and Rome will follow with more details on the program later. Applications are officially open for our summer 2023 Irish internship program. We are happy to announce the expansion of the IIP with an increasing number of our multinational partners now offering exchange positions for Irish students to intern in the United States. With Dublin as a hub for American companies and EMEA headquarters, it is only a natural fit. These intern exchanges will further deepen the connections between Ireland, the US, and Notre Dame. A record number of 11 recent Notre Dame graduates have moved to Ireland to undertake master's degrees at Trinity and UCD this year. We will be hosting the Alumni Club of Ireland for their first mixer of the year at O'Connell House this Friday to welcome all of our Notre Dame alumni, new and old. And speaking of welcomes, we are happy to introduce our new campus minister, Molly Light. Molly is a 2020 graduate of the university. She has been teaching high school theology for the last 2 years and is ecstatic to finally be joining us in Dublin to start her master's in chaplaincy and pastoral care at Dublin City University. Lastly, we are officially 1 year out from the big Notre Dame Navy football game in Dublin in August 2023. It will be a busy year ahead with game preparation, but we are looking forward to welcoming 35,000 Notre Dame fans to Dublin next year. The Global Engagement Programs team is up next.
Here on the Global Engagement Programs team, we are wrapping up a successful summer and gearing up for an exciting academic year. This summer, we welcomed the first in-person students to campus since 2019, hosting 78 students in 3 transformative and enriching programs. These include the ILED program for high school students and the iSure program for undergraduate researchers, and also a customized undergraduate program in economics with Universidad Panamericana in Mexico. We also hosted 28 students virtually through the iSure program and a virtual data science and machine learning program. And this allowed us to share a bit of Notre Dame's community, even though they were unable to come to campus this year. Additionally, we also recently welcomed 56 students from 19 different countries through our International Exchange and American Semester Abroad programs. Among these students are 7 incredible young women from the Ukrainian Catholic University who are welcomed to the NDI and campus community with open arms. We are very much looking forward to an incredible fall semester with this ASAP and exchange cohort, and already looking forward to our spring cohort in just a few months. That is all from GEP today. Next up, Jer from the Global Partnerships team.
Jer, you're mute.
Okay, can everybody hear me now? Okay. I thought I had unmuted myself already. Sorry about that. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. With regard to my team, the Global Engagement and Partnerships team, Catherine has been very busy on several fronts. She coordinated the very successful campus visit of Master Catherine Arnold from St. Edmunds and Cambridge University, which Michael was very involved with. And if I may say so, led a brilliant discussion with Catherine Arnold last week, but Catherine was very involved in coordinating that. And she's also currently involved in planning the visit for the Latin American Council this week. Now, I think, Michael, you'll be talking in a while about the Ukraine Catholic University, but Jonathan and I have been very involved in planning the grant programs with Ukrainian Catholic University and coordinating with departments about postdocs. There's been many other smaller strands that we've been involved with, but I think that basically summarizes the main work that we've all been involved with at the moment. And now over to Catherine in Hong Kong.
Hello, everyone. The Hong Kong Global Center has expanded its work in Southeast Asia this summer. We met with alumni leaders from Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Japan, and potential benefactors, parents and students in Asia, in Singapore, during our alumni regional meeting. And we also organized send-off event for our new student and parents in Singapore. About 10 students and their parents with undergraduate student attended the event in Singapore. I also met with NUS, National University of Singapore, NTU, Nanyang Technology University, and CASE, Council for Advancement and Support of Education, while with the trip in Singapore. And we explored different collaboration and study abroad opportunities. We also met with a lot of exchange students will be coming to campus in the fall and in the spring. For the upcoming Thanksgiving, the alumni leaders in Thailand have invited our students who are in Asia to spend their Thanksgiving weekend and watch the football game in Bangkok in November. For Hong Kong, we have continued to work with our benefactor. We also work closely with Admission to plan virtual admission event in Hong Kong and China in the coming weeks. So next, we'll turn it to Jerusalem. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be with you all today. My name is Boaz, or Bo Lieberman, and I've been newly appointed as the Student and Residential Life Manager here at University of Notre Dame at Tantor. Here are just some of our latest updates since our last GTH meeting. Firstly, the university has officially started the renovation of our facility. Our team has been working tirelessly to repurpose parts of the building and to evacuate the sections where the first phase of the renovation will take place. We are doing this while simultaneously running programs, including study abroad and languages, and hosting groups of the Ecumenical Institute as seamlessly as possible. Secondly, we are delighted that in the meantime, the demand for our international community continues to grow. We are especially humbled to have offered over 10 Ukrainian scholars and their families a safe haven, some of which have started to go back to their home countries. Thirdly, we are about to officially launch a new program in computer coding. Please stay tuned for more information about Adam. Finally, as many of you know, the whole UNDD team is thrilled to host the next NDI Leadership Gathering, hoping to see many of you soon here in Jerusalem. I will now pass it off to Nell at Kylemore for further updates.
Thanks, Bo. Banachty, or greetings from the Kylemore Global Center. My name is Nell Buckley and I joined in April this year. We've had a super busy summer at Kylemore. So in addition to our 3 summer programs, we've been busy fostering greater collaboration with the University of Galway through our BSHIC initiative, which is a transatlantic partnership to further cancer research. A cohort from the Harper Institute at Notre Dame came and visited the Lamb Institute in Galway, which resulted in new partnerships and internship opportunities for our students in the area of cancer research. In July, we welcomed David Acton from the Snipe Museum, who came and set up an exhibit on the works of a Dublin-born photographer called Amelia Stein. The photos are an enthralling and popular addition to the Fordham Hall at Kylemore Abbey, and the first of what we hope to be many international collaborations with the Snipe Museum of Art. Lastly, our 21 semester abroad students are settling in nicely in Galway, and some of them have even braved the cold seas and gone for a dip in the Atlantic. Sustainability is the name of the game this semester in Galway, and that's because we have our first ever sustainability fellow with us this semester. So they'll be helping me promote sustainability practices at the Kylemore Centre and on the campus in Galway. Now let's hear from Caroline in London.
Caroline, we can't hear you. Can everyone else not hear her as well, or is that just my computer?
Why don't we go on to the next one? And
yeah, let's move on.
In Joe's computer.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Oh my God. Hello. Hi, I'm Caroline Lesney. I joined the Notre Dame London communications team in August. And here in London, we're all watching history unfold before our eyes as the nation pays its respects to Queen Elizabeth II after her passing last Thursday. King Charles III was officially proclaimed as the new monarch this weekend. And as Michael mentioned earlier, within the next 2 hours, we will witness the procession of the late Queen's coffin from Buckingham Palace to Westminster, where she will lie in state until the state funeral on Monday. At the London Global Gateway, our semester has started off successfully with 18 law students and just under 200 undergrads, over 70% of whom are participating in internships this term, our largest cohort ever. Our relaunched volunteering program has received overwhelming student support, and the majority of our residence life-led trips sold out within 2 minutes, showing record interest from students in extracurricular UK engagement. We have a full program of events underway, including a recent conference on Catholicism, literature, and the arts in collaboration with Durham University, and numerous upcoming faculty lectures and seminars. All teams are hard at work preparing for our GK Chesterton Collection Conference and dedication next month, with many visitors expected from campus leadership, including Father Jenkins' first visit to Notre Dame London in several years. Now, let's get an update from Pablo in Mexico.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pablo Reyes, and I am the new Assistant Program Consultant in Puebla, Mexico. I am grateful for this opportunity and really proud of joining NDI. We have welcomed 17 pre-med students in Puebla this semester. After 1 month living here, they are deeply immersed in the courses, they are visiting their host families, and we are making trips outside from Puebla to learn more about Mexico. We had our bonding trip in Veracruz, where the students spent the whole weekend camping and with different bonding activities during the day. We went to Puerto Escondido, where the students learned about traditional nursery and public health entomology. In Oaxaca, we visit the archaeological site of Mitla. The students watched the traditional way of making carpets and the whole process of producing mezcal. Last week, they began the hospital rotations, and we are looking forward for the rest of the activities during this semester. Also, we are happy of working with the Mexico City's office. We think we are doing a great job together. Thank you. Next up, Mumbai.
Thank you, Pablo, and namaste from Mumbai. We had a successful GP intern placed at the UN Global Compact Network in India over the summer, our first student here after the pandemic. The student had an amazing visit and spent 6 weeks in New Delhi exploring the life, culture, and food, besides traveling to different parts of India. You can read more about her time in India on the Mumbai Global Center's webpage, where her story has been featured. Professor Neil Boothby, director of the Global Center for Development of the Whole Child, addressed teachers at the Bombay Teacher Training College in partnership with St. Xavier's College, the HR College of Commerce, and the Notre Dame Club of India in August 22. His topic, Neurons to Nations, How Investing in Early Childhood Development Builds Healthy Societies, was well received by the over 60 future educators who attended. Professor Boothby's colleague Nikhit Desa will be conducting a follow-up lecture in October 2022, the tentative topic being teacher well-being and how it can be measured and understood. Celebrate Notre Dame, our annual gathering and official student send-off, jointly sponsored by the Notre Dame Club of India and the Notre Dame Alumni Association, was a resounding success this year. Meeting in person after 2019, we had about 65 attendees, which included current and incoming students, both graduate and undergraduate, parents, alumni, and friends from Notre Dame, as well as a representative from the Alumni Association who traveled to India specifically for this. Lastly, I had the privilege of addressing over 1,000 10th to 12th graders to give them information about the university, as well as our summer programs at NDI, at an event organized by the DPS High School in Navi Mumbai last month. I think we should see a good response from this event. Let's now hear from Nairobi, and over to you, Jackie.
Thanks, Diraj. Hi, everyone. In the summer, we had Michael visit, which we'll cover in the feature session. However, I'll cover two main events that we've had this fall. So last week on the 8th of September, we co-hosted a virtual panel co-sponsored with the Kroc Institute of International Studies and the East Africa Club of Notre Dame. It was entitled Reflections on the 2022 General Election in Kenya, What is at Stake? And this panel saw about 50 participants log in and stay till the end. The recording will be available this week after edits have been done by the Kroc Institute. I moderated the panel. Secondly, we'll later on in this month have a panel on the 21st of September from 10 to 11. We'll host a panel on campus, which is a Pamoja Branch and Learn, where we'll celebrate and learn from the 2022 Pamoja Summer Graduate Fellowship awardees. These are grant recipients who will give brief presentations about their research experience and their findings, as well as their insights over in September, on the 21st of September on campus. Thank you very much. And now let's hear from the Ops and Communications team in South Bend.
Good morning, or hello, everyone. It's great to see so many of you today. Recently, Mark and I joined Rich in London to support student and faculty orientation events. I am so pleased to report that we experienced an overall 80% reduction in support cases over the last two semesters. I attribute this in large part to Mark's project management of the orientation process and the excellent work of both Mark and Rich throughout the summer. We streamlined and simplified the printing process for students, refined existing knowledge base articles, and took advantage of recent classroom upgrades. Speaking of classroom upgrades, our team is focused on London and Rome throughout the past year, and now we turn our sights to Ireland. Working with the campus AV team, we plan AV upgrades in Dublin and Kylemore. The work will start in earnest in the next few months. And additionally, working in cooperation with Suzanne, Joe in London, and the campus AV team, we have a solid plan in place to support the AV needs for the GK Chesterton dedication. During the academic year, the IT team will look closely at workstations across the division to ensure operating systems are patched and up to date. In tandem with that effort, Information Security on Campus is in the final stage of completing an information security assessment of the Rome Global Gateway. We plan to complete similar evaluations for the other global gateways as well. And to wrap up our highlights, Mark has started the annual CWP replacement cycle for our division. On campus, he will reach out to you if you're eligible for a system, and in our international locations, continue to reach out to me if you have a need for a new workstation. Thank you so much, and now we're off to Rome and Alice.
Thank you, Corey. Hello, everyone. The Rome Gateway is thrilled to have 105 students for the fall semester distributed into 4 programs, including the School of Architecture. This is the largest full cohort to date, and we are expecting record numbers in the spring as well. Speaking of programs, as Maggie mentioned earlier, the Rome and the Dublin Global Gateways are taking part in the Nunavik Institute's pilot EU Scholars Program, which aims at deepening ND students' understanding of the European Union while they're studying in Europe. A select group of students in Rome are spending the first half of the full semester meeting with experts from the political, non-governmental, and private sectors, learning about the role of the EU. At the end of October, the students will travel to Brussels for an immersive study trip during which they will visit EU institutions and meet with representatives from Ireland and Italy to better understand the links between European governments and domestic affairs. As a final note, on October 15th, NDRO students will have the exceptional opportunity to participate in the last leg of a Bologna-Rome bicycle pilgrimage organized by the communities of L'Arche in Italy, with the participation of various other organizations active in the disability world, as well as biking groups. The pedal pilgrimage follows the ancient Via Francigena route and includes 16-person team with 10 tandem bikes on which pairs of adults, with and without disabilities, will pedal together on each leg of the journey. Up to 20 ND-Rome students will ride the last leg of the route with the team and other participants up to St. Peter's Square. The ride will end at the ND Villa for celebration and refreshments. That's it from Rome, and now we will hear from Esteban in Santiago.
Thank Alice, and a very warm welcome to all our new colleagues, Notre Dame NDI colleagues around the world from Chile. Some highlights from the Santiago Global Center. First, we had a great first summer program in Chile during June and July. 12 students took 2 classes in Spanish, one taught by Notre Dame professor Maria Rosa Olivera Williams, and the other by local professor Rocio Cortés from UC Chile. The program included 2 multi-day trips to the north and south of Chile. The students lived with local host families and were super happy about the experience. We are now very excited, preparing already for the next summer program. Then we had a very successful Notre Dame UC Chile Luxich Scholars Joint Research Awards process. In order to deepen joint research collaboration, Notre Dame and UC Chile conducted a special joint call. Through this jointly funded, jointly advertised opportunity, both institutions received 23 proposals for collaborative research projects with the potential to achieve international recognition. Project selection was competitive and made jointly by Notre Dame and UC Chile. 9 of the applications were selected for awards and will be funded with up to $50,000 each. Research will take place during the next few months. Special thanks to Jer for her amazing job coordinating the entire process. Finally, 15 Chilean high school students from Holy Cross School in Santiago attended Notre Dame Vision program on campus during the summer. They had a fantastic experience, and some of our current study abroad students were their monitors. Thank you very much. And now let's hear from Thais in Sao Paulo.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Our summer program in Sao Paulo was very successful. We had 16 students for the program Brazil, a Cultural Mosaic, and 1 GPE student that really enjoyed her experience here. In August, we offered a send-off meeting to undergraduate and graduate Brazilian students that are will be starting their programs in this fall. Also, Pontifical University of São Paulo opened a call for research for their faculty to do research at Notre Dame. And thanks to Jer, this collaboration will take place soon. And the theme is sustainability and inequality. Also in August, I spoke to about 1,000 students in 5 different college fairs in São Paulo about undergraduate admissions and NDI and pre-college summer programs. This week, we are going to have an event that's part of a series. It's called Brazil Today, that's on elections in Brazil. how COVID and religion may determine the future of Brazil. This is going to be a webinar, virtual webinar. And next week, we're going to have a presential and virtual, another part of the series, Brazilian Democracy in Danger, how polarization and institutional crises have eroded democracy. So now, finally, the study abroad team will finish out the headline portion of the global town hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the study abroad team, I'm happy to share our updates with you. First, we would like to welcome the newest member of our team, Travis Shank. Welcome, Travis. Applications are now open for semester and summer study abroad 2023 and 2024. The study abroad team has been busy preparing for next week, Study Abroad Week, and looking forward to welcoming 12 global staff to campus. Season 3 for the Beyond Study Abroad podcast is now live and will feature many stories from students around the globe. Make sure to listen bi-weekly. The study abroad team kicked off the semester strong, and we continue to work towards our priorities and goals for the next academic year, including student well-being and engagement, sustainability, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and intercultural competency development. We are looking forward to a successful year. That wraps up the headlines for the Global Town Hall. Next, we will head into the features section. Michael, I will toss it back to you.
Thanks a lot, Brigitte, and thank you to all of our presenters in the update section. A couple of themes jumped out at me as I was listening to everyone. One is you heard people use repeatedly throughout that section either record numbers of something or new programs, and that's a testament to our creativity and innovation during this time where there is a real surge and a real desire on the part of our faculty, our students, to be operating in a more global context and rely on our collective expertise and the networks that you bring to make their experiences abroad all the stronger. I was also struck by the fact that in some cases people talked about existing programs that we know are excellent and making them stronger, or in the case of Jerusalem, renovating the building. We're also, even as we're innovating, continuing to stick to our different modes of excellence that have been longstanding within our respective sites. So I'm proud of that as well. In the features section coming up and in the Global Town Halls ahead, we'll be focusing on different kinds of themes that could potentially relate to the larger university strategic plan. We're working hard on campus with a number of faculty committees to imagine what the future directions are of the university. And as you've heard me and others say before, we're very pleased that global and international is one of those 7 themes that the university is imagining what the future looks like and imagining what kinds of investments need to be made to provide the resources for us to take our global identity and presence to the next level. So the themes that you'll be hearing about in the features section today and in the future, you'll be able to start to connect and imagine how the university could build on these kinds of themes. So you might want to think about that in your own work, both in existing projects and in new projects that you are considering embarking upon. With that, I'm going to turn it to one of those themes that the university is looking at. I sit on the internationalization strategic committee, and one of the things that we're talking about as a committee is geographically, are there places where we're not doing as much as we could or should be doing? And the committee's talking about, in fact, East Africa in particular, sub-Saharan Africa more generally. So with that context, I'm going to turn it over to Jackie to talk about the work that she and I did while I was in Nairobi in the summer. Jackie, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Michael. So I'm going to talk about Michael's trip to Kenya in July. Michael came to Kenya in mid-July, the week of the 15th. And during his trip, we met with many different parties. First, we met with Bishop Bernard Ngaruhia, who's the Deputy General Secretary of the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops. And we also met with the Education Secretary, Augusta Mudingani. The meeting mainly covered strengthening partnerships and supporting the work for the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child with Professor Neil Boothby, and also support the Institute for Educational Initiatives, where TJ D'Agostino and his team are doing extensive work in Kenya in the area of education. Then secondly, we met with the Zizi Afrique Foundation, which is a foundation that works on youth affairs and education in Kenya. The director, Dr. John Mugo, had organized and hosted a global professional experience student, Paul Bulsbach, and we thanked him for hosting our student. Then lastly, we met with Dr. Vincent Ogutu, who's the Vice Chancellor Designate for Strathmore University, and his Director of Partnership, Eric Saulo, at Strathmore University. And here we were signing an MOU for student exchange agreements with Strathmore. We also met with the law school. So those are the main meetings. And then we also had another set of meetings where Michael and I met with the Irish ambassador to Kenya, Fionnuala Quinlan, and the focus of this meeting was future partnerships, including hosting of studentships, research fellows, together with local grantees such as Strathmore University, who's our partner. We also talked about the possibility of inviting her to a football match in Ireland that was mentioned earlier. Then we went down to Dandora, where we worked closely with the Holy Cross congregation. And here we met with the administrator of the Brother Andre Hospital, Sam Gwamba. We met with him to thank him for hosting Cassidy Mullen, who's one of the GPE students who did fantastic projects at the hospital in Dandora. We also partner with the Ford program on research on eye health, where Father Bob and Dr. Bernard Nallen, the director of the Eck Institute, are co-investigators on a research grant by the Kellogg Institute. So we discussed that. So you can see Sam and his hospital team. And then we also had a meeting with the Hekima Institute of Peace Studies Director, Father Elias Opongo, who also sits on the board of the Kroc Institute and is a prominent ND alumni. Those of you who watched the panel last week saw him as one of the key presenters, and he also occasionally supports our research work in peace studies. He has also recently published a book and was part of the panel that I just mentioned. Then finally, on his last day, Michael attended an ND alumni dinner together with the East Africa Club of ND, where he met with prominent Notre Dame alums, including the newly inaugurated chair, Juhi Chege, and alums from law, peace studies, engineering, and recent Notre Dame graduates, undergrads who had just completed their undergrad. So he met with them and worked on strengthening the engagement of ND alumni across classes, across tiers, and a lot of them committed in supporting our work and in welcoming new students. So it was a very busy time, but a very successful trip for Michael in East Africa. We thank you, Michael, for gracing us with your presence, and I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie, and thanks for your leadership in strategically choosing who we should be meeting with and why, and linking up these East African partners and Kenyan partners in particular with NDI and with our faculty and students here on campus. I hope people here, as they're listening to Jackie talk about the work that she's doing in Kenya, that some of those strategic themes from the strategic plan, health and well-being, being of service to the church and the world, providing access to educational opportunities, being more international and global, all of that's fit into that work. What I'd like to do now is turn to our next feature, which is actually talking about a program that you might not be familiar with, which is the Sister to Sister program. This is a nonprofit program run out of Washington, D.C. that reaches out to educational partners around the world to empower Pakistani female college students to overcome cultural limitations that inhibit their participation in pursuing competitive and lucrative careers. Oftentimes in the global network, we focus on what's going on in our given country or region, and we assume that that's where the focus of our work is. But we're actually operating in all sorts of places where we don't have an infrastructure and touching the lives of students and faculty members for places where there are no gateway or center. In this case, the Sister to Sister program invited the University of Notre Dame to consider hosting a student from Pakistan during our summer program with our global engagement programs, our iSure program. And we were so impressed with the program that we decided we would host in our inaugural pilot 2 students. So this is their story.
I'm Afshin Tomar and I'm an undergrad student from Pakistan. Here now I'm in Notre Dame for exchange program, which is particularly iSure program. So I was blessed to get the scholarship here. Firstly, I had applied there in Pakistan for sister-to-sister exchange program.
I am Akhtar Iftikhar and I'm from Islamabad, Pakistan. And right now I'm here in University of Notre Dame under iSure program, which is an undergrad research program.
I am doing research on amalgam of chemistry and biology. Like we are working on a project who deals with the synthesis of some hydrogels and peptides to cure diabetes and deal with the hypoglycemia.
So here, when we came here, our professors, students were working on cell lines, and I feel so lucky that he was working on cell lines, and the first task he gave us was to grow cells and culture cells and passage them. So that helped me a lot. I think I'm so lucky to be here to work with him and in the University of Notre Dame. Yeah. Always wanted to be a doctor, and becoming a doctor is like a very hard in Pakistan, and you have to pay a lot, and I couldn't afford it. So I decided to go for microbiology instead, because I want to, at the end of the day, I want to help people in curing their diseases and everything.
On undergrad level, it's like I never had thought that I'm gonna do such kind of research in a well-renowned institute. So literally, I am thankful from the core of my heart for getting this opportunity, for living here for a very short period, but it was not short. Believe me, it was full of experiences.
People are very friendly here. So it was our first Eid in US. Eid is a very famous festival in Pakistan that you celebrate with your entire family. So it was our first time, right? The first week we came here, the first weekend we had was Eid. So I was upset because I was missing my family, and the people in our dorm, they were so nice. One of the iSure students, she dressed in our dresses and celebrated Eid with us. And the people in our dorm, we have a father there. He was staying there, an Italian father, priest. He made us a pie, and they all sat with us on the table, ate with us, and wished us Eid, gave us notes, and also recorded a video for us saying Eid Mubarak, and that was a good one. I haven't seen such diversity in any other place. There are people from all over the world. Even in my dorm, there are people from Italy, Uganda, from China, Japan, and everywhere, and they're all so good to each other, and they are interested in learning each other's culture. Even people from here are interested in learning our own culture. Yesterday, a family came to us, and they had 2 neighbors' kids, and they wanted to help the people visiting different countries. One of them wanted to be a doctor, and one wanted to be a nurse, and they came to us just to know about our culture so that they could understand the culture and help people better around the world. So that was amazing. I mean, they wanted to learn about us and what dresses we wear in our weddings, what we wear on our daily basis, what we eat and everything.
When I came here, I heard a statement or phrase like "home under the dome." It's the slogan for the Notre Dame, and literally, it's home under the dome. And I'm very thankful to them. And I will, in my native language, I will say that Alhamdulillah, मुझे ये opportunity, मुझे ये chance मिला, और मैं सबके शुक्रगुजार हूँ. And to translate that, I am thankful for this opportunity. It means a lot to me.
I cannot express in words how grateful I'm feeling right now that I've been given this opportunity to have an immense experience in the research and to get to know different cultures from around the world in here in the University of Notre Dame. And I must say, it must not have been possible without the University of Notre Dame and our Professor Matthew J. Weber and the US Department of State and the Sister to Sister Exchange program, because they gave us this opportunity, which was like a dream come true for me. I would always like daydream about such opportunity where I don't have to pay anything and get such a good experience. And I think all these institutions made it possible for me. I feel grateful.
So I want to say thank you to the GEP team for making that program special for those students. I hope everyone in the Zoom room could feel their palpable excitement and gratitude. And also to see Notre Dame through their eyes gives us all a chance to reassess what we see around us and remember the impact that we have. It also gives us the chance to tell their story to those wherever we are in the world. And we'll continue this program and see how we can continue to grow pipelines for young women around the world. We'll continue to grow this pipeline with the Sister to Sister program, and stay tuned for more developments. I'd like to now turn to another initiative that we're working on. You heard Jer mention earlier the work that she and Jonathan have been doing with senior leadership at Ukrainian Catholic University in Lviv. So, you know, as the war continues to grind on, we continue to meet with their leadership on a bi-weekly basis. We talk about what's going on there, how we can continue to assist, and we work together to implement the initiative that we announced earlier in the spring. This video actually brings home, I hope for everyone, what the practical impact is for these students who have arrived from Lviv to South Bend. So let's take a look.
Here there are a lot of things that are unfamiliar for me, but I'm so excited because there are so many people and everyone wants to meet us, to talk with us. So our assistant said that we are like celebrities here on campus, and so of course I'm excited because I understand that the next 4 months will be unforgettable and the best in my life even. At Notre Dame, I'm to spread the information about Ukraine, and I want to students not to forget that there is a war in Ukraine, and also I want to meet wonderful people and have many connections around the world. It is very valuable for me, and of course knowledge in political science, because I want to be a professional specialist, and semester abroad is a very great opportunity to become better. For Ukrainian students, last semester was really difficult because it is a war in Ukraine, and we have air raid sirens. That means that we need to go to the shelter, so it can interrupt our sleep, our lessons, so our physical condition is also not stable because many people are dying every day, and it is Ukrainians, so it was difficult, but we all understand that education is important, and we need to be strong, and we need to be educated because we need to rebuild Ukraine in the future. So professionals, Ukraine needs professionals who will rebuild it.
I came to Notre Dame in January this year, and it was supposed to be my sabbatical. And my academic home at Notre Dame is Nanovic Institute for European Studies, and I came here to do research on integral human development and university. In February, with the outbreak of the war in Ukraine because of Russia's aggression, I had to switch my focus a little bit, or maybe not a little bit, quite a lot, because to Ukrainian topics, to Ukrainian issues, which became very prominent in this context, both on campus and outside campus. Notre Dame community knows already very much about Ukraine and about the Ukrainian Catholic University, and not only knows but acts. And I'm very grateful for really extraordinary solidarity of Notre Dame with Ukraine during these 6 months of the war. It was shown and enacted in different ways. Some of them were very symbolic, like invitation of Archbishop Boris Gudziak for the commencement address at the commencement ceremony, and even the fact that each weekend Touchdown Jesus is on the library is lit in Ukrainian colors. So I think this is important things. But also we together with Notre Dame designed comprehensive partnership program. This partnership is growing, and Ukraine, my message would be that Ukraine in the next few years, when we will be working on recovery after the devastating war, will be an interesting place to come, because it will be a place where people could study or could learn more about how to build or rebuild democracy, how to manage migration, which was incredibly high. So 1/3 of Ukrainian population is displaced, actually. So it's more than 15 million. It's about 15 million people, and it's a place, for to learn about resilience, about different issues, about reconstruction of the viable and sovereign country. And I think what could be interesting for Notre Dame is at Notre Dame there are many programs, graduate programs, which include global outreach component, where students go to different places in the world to implement different real world projects. And I think that for many graduate students at Notre Dame, Ukraine would be an interesting place of destination actually to work on such projects. I would like to say that again, we are very grateful to Notre Dame for this solidarity and friendship. So there is a saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed, and that was my experience here at Notre Dame, and I am sure that also my colleagues in Ukraine feel the same.
Just to wrap that up before turning it over to Merit, as you heard Jer mention, we'll be launching the Faculty Research Grant Program that'll bring faculty members from UKU into collaboration with Notre Dame faculty on a variety of topics, many of which will certainly help Ukraine in its rebuilding efforts now and in the future. We're also working to move forward with the new administrative exchange program. So we'll be welcoming a delegation, we hope, from UKU of senior level and mid-level administrators, as well as the next generation of young leaders that the university wishes to cultivate to come here and learn and be in partnership with colleagues from around different offices and different divisions around the university. So we'll also are already starting the process of identifying students who will be coming in the spring, because the students you saw in those pictures will be returning to Lviv in the fall. So there's more to describe, more to come, but this work of solidarity and using global education as a means for both healing and cultural renovation is an important one. So stay tuned for that. With that, I'll turn it over to Merit. who's going to talk to us about how they welcomed a record number of international students here on campus. Merritt.
Thank you. Next, I want to talk briefly about this year's International Student Orientation. Over the summer, ISSA welcomed nearly 600 new students and more than 50 scholars. This week, ISSA is hosting an Info Blitz as part of our extended orientation series that will engage nearly 300 students. Let's take a quick look at this year's ISO event. After the video, we will get an update from Catherine from the Global Partnerships and Faculty Outreach. Thank you.
Thank you, Merritt. I'm excited to have the opportunity to share results of the stewardship reporting process that the Global Partnerships and Faculty Outreach team has been working on over the last several months. For those who are new to NDI or may not be involved with the process, this slide gives you a brief overview of the work that we do to compile stewardship reports for the more than 30 endowments, expendable gifts, and capital projects managed by NDI. Much of the year, we focus on planning for and using the funds in a way that maximizes impact and ensures that our donors have made a successful investment in NDI, with the spring and summer seeing a lot of work to gather data and stories documenting that impact. Thank you so much to the many members of the NDI team around the world who contribute to this work throughout the year. Please know that your work to develop and deliver the programs and to partner with us in gathering the stories and data about the positive impact on the faculty, students, and communities is greatly appreciated by our team and by our donors. We could not do this without you. This year, we're very happy to share with you a compilation of the reports. Thanks to Diane, you can access them in the NDI portal. You can either click on the reports and briefings link on the left-hand side of the screen, as you see here, or you can scroll down on the main portal page to find the reports and briefings category and click on stewardship reports there. You will be able to download and view the reports for this past fiscal year on this page. What you will find in the document is the narrative reports that we shared with university stewardship initiatives to include in the larger stewardship packet that each donor receives. The donor's final report will look a bit different, but will include the same narratives that you see in this document. Because these reports are shared only with our donors, we do ask that you keep these internal to NDI and do not share them outside our team. If you have any questions about the reports, please do not hesitate to let me know. And again, thank you so much for the important role you each play in delivering the programs and gathering the stories of how these funds support our students and our faculty. And that concludes the features section of the Global Town Hall. Michael, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. I want to say thank you to the Ops and Comms team for putting together today's Global Town Hall, as they always do. It's much appreciated. Please remember that you also have the chance to provide feedback to them in the portal and through email about what you'd like to see more of, or different pieces of work or projects and initiatives that you and your colleagues are working on that we haven't focused on yet. Please be sure to give those great ideas to Colleen and to Diane. I also want to say that as we move forward and get deeper into the semester and things continue to be extremely busy, please don't lose track of the fact that you are making a difference in our students and our faculty's lives, and that the work you do is transformative in all sorts of ways. As I've said throughout this past year, we're at an exciting inflection point for NDI and for the university as we continue to think about what it means to be a global university. And we're asking lots of big questions, which each and every person in the Zoom room, every person in the division is connected to. How will we grow the percentage of international students so that we become a more diverse community? How will we get more students to study abroad than are studying abroad now? And how can that transform their undergraduate education? How will we create pipelines for research for our students and faculty with international partners? How do we make sure that we're able to welcome people abroad at our gateways and centers? How do we make sure that we can represent Notre Dame for those who aren't able to travel? How do we make sure that we get the message that they're trying to share about their research and their work and their commitment to solving world problems through our own communication and our own projects? Each and every one of us has a role to play in that, which is why we'll continue to be talking about how to do our work strategically and what direction we as a division want to take in the future. So hopefully these town hall meetings are a chance not just to celebrate success and to provide updates and to make sure that we have good lines of communication open with everyone, but that it's a fertile ground for you to think about what comes next or what you can do next with the existing projects that you're on. So thank you for your service to our students and to our faculty and to Notre Dame. Stay healthy, stay well, and enjoy the fall or the spring, the day, the evening, or the morning, as the case may be, wherever you are in the world. Take care, everyone.